What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Christmas Day 2022. So Merry Christmas out there to each and every one of you. Hopefully you had a fantastic Christmas and you're having a fantastic holiday season. Now myself, Christmas is going to be grand, and that's because I am reviewing a beer from, pause, and let me real quickly apologize for the pronunciation that I am going to butcher right now, but this beer comes from Brouwerij Huyghe, maybe, probably not, and this is their Delirium Noël, aka Delirium Christmas, and this is the 2022 release. So they're calling this one a Belgian ale, and basically what this is a Belgian Strong Dark Ale. It comes in at 10% alcohol by volume, 26 IBUs. At the time of review, I believe because I've deciphered the code, that this bottle is just over 6.5 months old. So yeah, I've been wanting to review this one for, I wanted to do it last year, but I kind of just ended up not doing it. So I made it my mission and goal to review it this year. So I am. Now when it comes to Delirium, and just forgive me, I have not reviewed anything from Delirium on the channel. Not Delirium Tremens, not Delirium Nocturnum, not Delirium Red, not this beer. I don't know what's wrong with me, but in 2023, I'm making my goal to review more Belgian beers, more German beers, more English beers, just more imported beers in general. I've already picked up the Nishuf gift pack, which I will start reviewing those in January. And I'm going to have to pick up some of the Delirium, some of the St. Bernardus and the Rochefort, and just, you know, a lot of different beers that I have neglected for far too long. So anyway, I've had this one before. I've always enjoyed it. And yeah, we're going to review it. And that's all that I got to say. So let's crack this one open. Do we got a little bit of a gusher? Ooh, look. Yep. Oh, yeah, I knew it. Look at that. I knew it. Oh, my Lord. And again, this is, you know, the 2023, I guess you would say. Or, I mean, the 2022. You could see the smoke was going nuts, and I was like, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Now, do they have anything on the cap here? Let's see here. Try to take this off. I don't think so. It's like double foil wrap. Nah, it's just, you know, we're going to leave it on. It's not going to look great, but there's no reason to rip it off if it's just a blank cap anyway. But I love the ceramic bottle. I don't usually, I'm one of those beer tubers that really doesn't talk too much about like label art and bottles, but I love the ceramic. Always have loved the ceramic Delirium bottles, and this is just fantastic. Anyway, should have continued pouring that because of the sediment and whatnot, but I'm going to pour it in at the end anyway, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, that pours out like a Belgian beer. Surprise. It is. Anyway, I'll throw this over here, and we will start getting into the review here. So yeah, that has a nice, there's a lot of carbonation. So I'm using the hashtag proper glassware, but not really because it's Delirium Tremens glass with the pink elephants. But this has that, like, you know, Belgian dark color, maybe not as like dark as I'd anticipate. This is more like a, you know, a deep dark orange into like a ruby red, kind of like a copperish tone. Has about a 2 finger of a, we'll say lightly tan colored head, very creamy and soap sudsy looking. I mean, it's not going anywhere. And the carbonation, because this has an etching at the bottom, is just screaming crazy carbonated. But yeah, looks nice. Let's get a nose. That's really nice. Has like that Belgian candy sugar kind of nose. A lot of different fruit qualities. There's apricots and cherries and, you know, darker stone fruits, dates and plums. But then I get that spicy phenolic kind of yeast character. There's a little bit of like a clovey coriander thing going on, maybe even like a black pepper. Big breadiness to this one, like more of a what would we say? More like of a multigrain. Like it has like just a depth of complexity that is like more akin to something that's a little bit of a darker bread. There's a touch of like a vanilla here. There's I don't think this beer is spiced. Like a lot of these Belgian Christmas ales typically aren't spiced, but I could see somebody being fooled into thinking there's spices in here. I'm getting on top of that, like there's like almost like a cinnamon thing going on outside of that clove, coriander, cinnamon. It smells awesome. There's a touch of molasses as well. Red grape. Wow. This smells better than I remember. it just has that like, that again, depth of flavor, the complexity that you kind of expect from beer like this. But even though it's not super cohesive and I'm picking out different characters here and there, it just works. Just works. It really does. Yeah, I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Man, is this a spicy one. Again, I don't think they brew this one with spices. If they do, somebody out there, please correct me. But if they don't, from the carbonation, because the carbonation on this is one of the most carbonated beers I've had in a hot minute. Like, it's gripping on the palate. This is like highly carbonated, right? You could tell when I cracked it open. I can see, you know, the notch. It's just the etching. It's just going crazy in the glass. Buying this one's like higher side of medium, lower side of full, maybe a bit thin for the ABV, but I think it improves the drinkability for me, so I like that. The mouthfeel, again, super carbonated. It's spritzy on the tongue. It's one of those beers too, when after you take a sip, the flavors do not linger as long because the carbonation kind of rips everything off the palate pretty quickly. Yeah, it's like, get the aftertaste, but then your like tongue dries out and just everything gets kind of wiped away from the carbonation. So very highly carbonated. It's pretty smooth in general as like a beer, like in terms of like the ABV. I can't tell it's 10% from like the alcohol. So it drinks quite easily from in that regard. But you know, the body and just like the flavor and stuff, that I would, if I was doing this blind, I would definitely guess Belgian Strong Dark or Belgian Quad or something in that realm. But I would think maybe there are some spices in here, which there could be. Could be wrong. Anyway, right in front of the palate, there's this nice sweet, almost like you took, again, like a slightly toasted like brown bread, or like I said, a multi-grain bread or something like that, and like melded it with like a molasses cookie, right? There's what I think is maybe like a cinnamon ginger kind of pop. It's all in front of the palate. It's pretty crazy because I wasn't getting as much in the nose, but in the taste is a little bit more spicy. Right after that, there's a lot of fruit character. There's like a darker grape, like a red into like a you know, black / purple grape. There's a little bit of that sweeter black cherry. There's a touch of like a plum, fig, date, you know, deeper, darker stone fruit characters. So it passes through more of like the Belgian qualities come to the forefront. There's a little bit of like a bubblegummy kind of yeast ester. Yeah, it's more bubblegummy than like banana. I could see somebody say banana though, like kind of in that bubblegum banana yeast ester realm. And then on the back of the palate, I get hit more with a clove coriander. It's more of a traditional like Belgian Strong Dark on the second half of the palate for me on the finish. Finish is semi to full on dry. Not a big bitterness here. Very minute, mild bitterness. If any at all. I mean, it's still doing enough along with that big dryness to kind of balance this one out. It does lean sweeter. It's not cloying or anything, but it just has sweeter kind of feel to it. Look at the lacing. Look at that fucker. That lacing is amazing. I'll pour the rest of this in. Just see what we got goodies here at the bottom because pretty much done with this in terms of review. This is fucking delicious. Let me just say this. As somebody who's had this beer numerous times before, it's been a while, and you can see a reoccurring theme when it comes to these seasonals, whether it's a holiday seasonal or a fall seasonal or spring or summer. I don't buy a ton of seasonals. There are certain beers like each year I'll buy that are seasonals, but like when it comes to the holiday beers, like I really haven't been one of these seasonal drinkers outside of like pumpkin beers probably since like, you know, the mid 2010s. So we're talking like around 2014 to 17. That's why you hear me say so many times in these reviews, oh, I haven't had that in 5 years. Oh, I've had that 7-8 years, because I haven't. This, I don't remember last time I had it, but it's been far too long. And I think this is actually better than I remember it. Pouring in all the goodies, kind of dumb down the carbonation a little bit. It's a little bit smoother and softer. It's still like, even with the goodies poured in, it's still like above moderately carbonated, but not quite just full-on carbonation. Definitely going to have a nice, you know, gassy feel in my stomach here after I'm finished with this one. But let me just tell you, you know, when it comes to beers, the Belgians know what they're doing. They have for hundreds of years. And a beer like this is something that I think everyone should experience once in their life if you're a craft beer lover. And it's just a fucking delicious beer. There's not much more to say about it. So Delirium Noël, aka Delirium Christmas, the 2022 release from Brouwerij Huyghe. I'm saying that wrong, but that's my interpretation because I'm a dumbass. Anyway, I'm gonna give this a straight 4.5 out of 5. This is fucking awesome. This is awesome. And as far as I remember from like Delirium Tremens and Nocturnum and the Red, I think this is better than those three. But I haven't had really any of those beers in a hot minute. So I'm definitely going to review those in 2023. I'm going to make it a goal of mine. Price point availability, a little bit steep. In my area, 4 packs of this, anywhere from like $20 to $24, depending on where you buy it. So you're talking $5 to $6 a bottle. Is it worth it? Yes. Yes, it is. Not only is it imported, not only is it classic, but it's also extremely delicious. So worth it, pricey, definitely worth it. Plus you can get like the gift pack where you get like 2 bottles and like a glass for like $18 or something. I think that's a good deal for the glass anyway. I didn't see that this year, else I would have bought it. I'm sure it was probably everywhere. I just didn't have my eyes open for it. And availability, wherever you see Delirium, like Tremens and the others, you should see this one around Christmas time. Most places get it. I think this is imported in California, I believe. It says somewhere in here, doesn't it? Oh no, Frederick, Maryland. So, and they have like the refunds for, the returns in a bunch of different states. So yeah, this is pretty easy to get. Again, 10%. It's a bigger beer, but I don't feel like there's a nice warming in my chest, but nothing on the palate. Just anyway, if you've had this one before or prior vintages, what do you think about this one? This is up there with St. Bernardus Christmas Ale, just 2 delicious Belgian, Christmas beers that I should probably drink every year, and I don't because I'm an idiot. So anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Hopefully you had, like I said, a fantastic Christmas. Hopefully you got what you want present-wise. And yeah, I'm reviewing this a couple days before the weekend of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're supposed to get a huge blizzard here in the Buffalo, New York area, or blizzard-esque. So I'm looking forward to it. At least I got to drink these in advance. Shout out to the science go by. Anyway, to the next one. Cheers.